corporate Wi-Fi is also expensive. I know, I manage DNB and I know how much it costs. And from a company perspective, you want to shut down the Wi-Fi, right? So therefore, you're using 5G. Just like if you were to buy any devices today, you also want to make sure 5G is a feature. It's so basic in that aspect.
Hello, welcome to Connecting the Dots, EDOTCO's flagship podcast where we deep dive into the intersection of technology, connectivity and societal impact. In each episode, we bring you insightful conversations with industry leaders, innovators and also change makers that are shaping the future of digital infrastructure in Malaysia. As the first episode, today we are live from Mobile World Congress in Barcelona, and I am very fortunate to have a very special guest, Datuk Azman Ismail, CEO of Digital Nasional Berhad, joining us today to discuss the state of 5G in Malaysia, the challenges and opportunities in accelerating adoption of the 5G in Malaysia. Thank you so much, Datuk, for your time. Have you had a chance to see any innovation in MWC so far?
So, thank you. Good morning to all. Obviously, this is my first MWC in Barcelona, and I had the very good privilege and opportunity to look at many innovation that's coming about. Not only applicable from 5G, but also applicable to many other aspects of the technology, quantum computing, clouds, and so on and so forth. So these are eye-opener for me, especially. So I feel very privileged to be here today.
Dato', after a long wait and many speculations, the industry was very pleased to receive you as the CEO of DNB in October last year. And since then, Malaysia has been in the forefront of 5G rollout. We've achieved the 80% COPA. And 5G has been the buzzword for years. In your opinion, what exactly does Malaysia stand in terms of rollout and also adoption?
I think the fact that Malaysia has achieved significant progress with respect to coverage, the fact that we are already 80% COPA, so we have done what's needed as the basic. Of course, if you were to go on the vertical, connectivity is the base for many other aspects of technology advancement. You talk about AI, you talk about cloud computing, and so on and so forth. So those are, I will call it the verticals as you progress, right? And 5G is obviously more catered towards the industry, but the consumer also see the benefit. But the focus today, whilst we still trying to make sure that the verticals is also made available as most competitive manner, where 5G can greatly benefit the country is the adoption. And I call it the horizontal approach, right? And I think the adoption has got many aspects. And many are saying about, we need to ensure that the industry are being taken care of. We look and help to facilitate the industry in terms of how can they digitize their processes and activity. I think that's an important aspect. But we are also looking, and thanks for the opportunity to be here at the MWC, we're looking at also other aspects about the consumer, where we can actually help the consumer feel the benefit of 5G. So we're having a conversation with Meta today, and looking at how, because today what we realize is many consumers in Malaysia, not just in Malaysia but worldwide, many of them like to use phone call via WhatsApp.
Yeah, true.
Right? I'm sure you experience the same. Now, but we also want to be able to do that with higher quality, especially if you're able to do video call. So we are looking at studies, at opportunities, at what we can do to fine-tune our network, working together dengan Meta, and seeing about how to create that better quality. So for subscribers, consumers out there, whether in Malaysia or anywhere in the world, even what I've done is I call home many times from here using WhatsApp call, right? So, but I certainly would like to be able to have that quality call. And the call that I'm making is not just while in the building, while in the car and so on. So just imagine if you're mobile, there has to be ways and means where you can pass on the messaging from one tower to the next tower. So we want to make sure that we are able to pass on that call in a smooth manner supaya tidak ada drop call.
Yes.
So those are the quality that we want to improve. So as a consumer, if you're beginning to feel the benefit of 5G, so many will now beginning to feel, I want 5G, I want 5G services. So that's one aspect. Another angle where DNB is looking at is with respect to how do we digitize the workspace. So today, I'm sure you use your laptop in your work. And your laptop, if you come to the office, connected to the office Wi-Fi environment. And if you're traveling and somebody driving the car, kadang-kadang you dapat phone call emergency, you got to approve some item. Either you can do it in your mobile phone, or you need to use your laptop depending on your computer, your corporate IT requirement, right? So today, if you were to do it in your car or somebody else driving, you have to connect to your hotspot dan sebagainya. So with 5G laptop, it is very seamless. What we're trying to do is provide a feature dengan menggunakan eSIM sahaja. You turn on your laptop and you'll be connected to your corporate IT.
Okay.
So these are innovation steps that we are doing in order to ensure that consumer or even corporate consumer, as you use these devices, it become very seamless and therefore you appreciate the value of what's being provided. Itu just two examples. And you just imagine if you do it to rakyat jelata, right? So I think they can certainly beginning to feel the seamlessness, the quality that they're getting. And this is where one aspect of increasing the adoption. To me, increasing the adoption, you must hit to the heart, right?
Yeah.
So that people easily feel, I want it. When they say I want it, then certainly they will go all out to utilize it. So if you're in a corporate environment, at office you have Wi-Fi, right? So if you already have 5G laptop, eventually when everyone, there's obviously going to be a transition plan. Not everyone will get it, but assuming like over 12 months, all your corporate office employee are able to go 5G laptop, your main savings is you can reduce the Wi-Fi. Corporate Wi-Fi is also expensive. I know, I manage DNB and I know how much it costs for me. So I want to be able to find ways where I want to be able to reduce costs. So this is one aspect of it, right? So while I give a good experience to my employee about how to connect to the workspace, but I also having to do cost saving.
Cost saving, yeah, true.
So these are aspects where adoption is important. You hit right to the ground, right? You hit to the heart, and so people can feel it, and then they want more. As they want more, they will demand for more, right? So while we provide the services today, as we provide the services, tapi the adoption tu kurang, not as great as we like it to be. Because people tak dapat rasa.
Yeah.
So we want people to feel it.
Exactly. So as a consumer myself, right, Datuk, and I want what I wanted. So imagine that how 5G can benefit me, for example, is to be able to go to a concert, but not being there physically. I can, experience a concert from my, comfort of my home. So for example, like Siti Nurhaliza, which tickets get sold out in 1 hour, or Adele that does a concert somewhere else in other countries. My question is that yes, we have this infrastructure. You've got potential demand from consumer, but are there the platform players that does that services?
Absolutely. I think that requires obviously for DNB or any other provider to set up that platform. Now, if you have to go deep dive to that particular area, so one aspect of it is the concert organizers sudah tentu dia nak monetize it.
Yeah.
So they obviously get sales from the ticket, right? So they also want to get sales from online monitoring, online subscription, right? So there has to be a separate platform. Now, depending where you are, depending where the location is, the issue here today and many aspects of risk is whether you have a trusted platform or otherwise. Now, trusted platform or secure platform is another aspect. Because online you got to be mindful about cyber security, right? So you also need to be able to protect that. So those are things and elements that we can provide. And there are many application providers who obviously wants to do it. And typically, either you go for football or football ticket overseas or even concert ticket overseas, you buy online, you get online subscription. Tetapi what you also do as you buy the ticket, you also opt out for a quality visual or view of your concert. And that can be provided through slicing of the network. So if you are able to buy the ticket online, you opt for an upgrade in the quality of your network, that's where you can enjoy it without physically being there at the concert. Hanya the only point that you probably cannot enjoy is the ambience lah. Itu sajalah, right? I mean,
But there are some use cases that I've seen. So, for example, in football match, at one point you know, if you're looking watching it from a virtual goggle or something, you can choose which seats you want. So maybe the first 45 minutes or first 15 minutes you want to sit at nearer the goal,
right?
And then after that you can move to different. So that is the whole experience that you get, right?
Betul. So, but to create that experience, it's not just connectivity. It needs AI to come in. This is where the vertical needs to come in. And we are obviously welcoming developers, system integrators who wants to be able to develop that. But all that will need to work on the connectivity, and that's what we are providing, the connectivity.
And what do you see is Malaysia's biggest game changer when all this 5G infrastructure have been fully integrated? We have the system integration in place. The application are there. What is the biggest in terms of sectors, whether it's smart cities or automation or?
I think my view is we have to look in all verticals lah, whether you're in logistics, whether in transportation, whether in music, whether in industry. I think all single aspect needs to be able, all vertical needs to be working on it. And obviously the verticals, depending on how much investment they want to do it. I think that's also an important aspect. And the way how each vertical move with respect to adoption is depending on how much money they're prepared to invest, right? Tetapi I think as a service provider, it obviously is important on us to provide an array and also an option about how to do it in the most competitive manner. So we may not have the solution in order to do it, right? And that's partly the reason why we are here. We're talking to many system developer, platform provider, and so that at least we connect and we provide that provision, and at least they have better understanding about our connectivity and what else they now need to design in their application using our connectivity as the base, and therefore they can make it more palatable, more competitive to the consumer. I think yang penting. So we are obviously working behind the scene, and for the developer to be able to produce that. So, and that obviously depends on which vertical you are in. And some are, the vertical with a heavy deep pocket. Obviously, they're going to be at a higher pace compared to others lah. Tapi kita kena cover all verticals lah.
Okay, so for tower codes like us, like EDOTCO and all, how can we help you in that?
So I think one help is, I say, adoption means you now need to generate demand, and demand ni could either be through evolution or you provide some innovative product. Sebagai contoh, I give you an example, 5G laptop, right? If that is something that people like it, it's obviously we need to do more tests and make sure that it works, right? Just imagine that if you are in your corporate office and from a company perspective, you want to shut down the Wi-Fi, right? So therefore you're using 5G. So you're creating demand. So if you're in an in-building, how you get 5G is through IPS solution, right? So that's where now you need companies like yourself to come in and provide more IPS solutions for corporate offices. So it has to go in that chain, right? It has to go in that chain. So as soon as you create that demand through innovative product, and therefore, but from a company, well, I spend money, I need to do some savings, right? So you do that savings, and therefore as that create the entire chain as you go along. So that's one way how you make that system works. But as you make that system works, individual like yourself, ourselves, orang-orang yang menggunakan 5G laptop sebagai contoh, right? You beginning to appreciate the beauty of connectivity, the seamlessness, and you also feel secure because of cybersecurity control. You're only worried. Now, I've been talking to a few laptop provider, and as soon as you're able to buy your 5G laptop, within the 5G laptop, there are features whereby there are geographical location. Bermaksud, if your laptop is closed and I selalu dengar masa I manage corporate office juga, kadang-kadang laptop tu dicuri. Itu berlaku selalu, right? Bila laptop dicuri, and one of the biggest feature is you cannot erase the content because you worry about confidentiality. Tetapi dengan 5G, dengan that new features being available, walaupun laptop tu ditutup, shut off, you can do remote erase. So that would be a comfort that we can actually do. So these are things that we are working on, new feature, and these are only become available sebab adanya 5G.
Okay, last question, Datuk. If you have a crystal ball here in front of you, what would be, Malaysia and look into Malaysia in the next 5 years? What's the best case scenario for how 5G will transform the country?
I think we should look at it from the perspective about how the iPhone or the phone, sorry, not even iPhone, the smartphone.
Samsung.
Well, doesn't matter lah, whichever. How it has evolved and changed individual, our lifestyle, right, and the usage to the point that today you cannot live without an iPhone, right? Don't leave home without one, right? So that's how we like 5G to be. So just like if you were to buy any devices today, whatever pad lah, right? American made ke, or China made ke, or Korean made, doesn't matter, or China made, doesn't matter, right? So you also want to make sure 5G is a feature. Just like when you buy your phone or you buy your laptop, you have USB-C as a feature, right? Right? So you also want 5G to be as a feature. It's so basic in that aspect. So people can now innovate to a higher level. So we want to make sure that is embedded on your daily activities, your daily devices, so that now you can innovate.
That's very true. I can definitely not leave home without my phone. I can leave home without my bag. I don't buy expensive handbags anymore right now, so I buy expensive phones.
Yes.
So lastly, Datuk, any message for our viewers out there?
Okay, thank you. So I think all I will ask for anyone is to be open-minded and open-hearted with respect to embracing technology. It doesn't have to be very expensive, but the fact that if we are prepared to open our minds, open our heart for any new technology and change that will benefit mankind, and if we are open to it, I think inshallah we are moving in the right direction. So I think obviously 5G is just the base of it, just the anchor point. There are going to be many more innovation comes in.
Thank you so much, Datuk.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Right, thank you.
Thank you.